Hey guys, welcome to the Comedy and Custody podcast. I'm Sasha Frank.
And I'm Nebulous Nyang.
And we have got a special guest today.
Hi!
We've got the amazing Olga Koch, and we're both like fangirling a bit. We're trying to be really cool, and we're not.
That's why you're sitting so far from her.
Yeah. I wanted to sit here, and Joyce was like, no you're not allowed.
Lean back into my
Do you want me to
bosom.
move closer?
It's, a little bit, but the
Let's do it.
authorities
weird?
say I'm not supposed to. It's now it's weird.
Okay, fine.
So it's we're in Melbourne, by the way, guys. We're in Melbourne.
Yeah.
We're at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. I am here with my show, Joyce.
I'm just here to make connections.
But Olga,
That's so honest. I love it.
yeah, she's just here to invite people to the Airbnb. We have them
Your
sit
Airbnb.
my Airbnb. And
Because
have
hers
them.
is much
It's a
nicer.
gorgeous Airbnb as well.
Thank you very much. It's well, I'm out in South Melbourne, which is where my show is, so it's a little bit less expensive. And but your show is right in the middle of everything, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. I feel like I sort of, I guess, did my time in a venue that wasn't central last year, and now I'm at Town Hall, which I'm very, 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 I feel blessed to be in.
Amazing. What's the show called?
It's called Olga Koch Comes From Money.
Okay, so we've seen some of this in
Yes,
Singapore.
yes.
It's amazing. And you do come from money. And I want to talk about that later,
Sure.
if it's okay, if
Yeah.
you're comfortable. Because I grew up poor and I'm completely fascinated by this concept.
I'm
but
semi-rich.
Yeah, she
semi-rich.
also comes
She's
from
full
money.
rich, so we have the whole spectrum.
Yeah, we do. It's if the government wants to give free money, it should come only to me, not to you two bitches. So, okay. So, but it's been a week. So I'm gonna tell you my story before we
Please.
start. I got to Melbourne on Saturday night, opening night of my show, and I was hosting a show. Very last minute, someone said, "Do you want to MC a show?" Went to MC it. Went fantastic. You know, like you're just riding high on comedy.
Yeah.
Got straight in an Uber, went to a second show. Absolutely did fantastic. Riding high on comedy.
Hell
and
yeah.
on this adrenaline, ran off the stage like I am the queen of comedy and smacked into
my
a
God.
speaker that was
No.
like on the... Because I may be good at comedy, but I have got terrible eyesight, apparently.
Oh,
and the spotlight
no.
was on me and I couldn't see. And it was kind of the size of the TV, which is like this
Oh
big.
my God.
Straight into it, full of adrenaline. Didn't realise I'd hurt myself. Ran out of the venue, leaving behind my very confused boyfriend in the audience who thought I'd gone for some quiet time after the show. I haven't needed quiet time in 40 years. But I ran out of embarrassment. I didn't realise I was injured. And it was only when I got to the door that it was like, have you seen Carrie, the horror movie?
Yeah, oh my God, so
It
you
was
were
like
bleeding.
I was absolutely head to toe. And there was no one around, and I had to stop this passerby and be like, hey, I realise I look like something from a horror movie. Would you mind just grabbing me a tissue? I was all British. I'm like, I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. They're like, call an ambulance. I'm like, oh, please do not call an ambulance, because my show opens in about an hour. It didn't. I went to the hospital.
Oh my fucking God.
But the point I was going to make there was comedy takes you up, and then it takes you down.
Yeah.
So
Wait, okay. Can we? When did your boyfriend find out about this?
So
did you go to A&E? Did they put stitches on you? Tell me everything.
So I've been glued back together.
Oh God.
Like,
have you
Humpty
ever had
Dumpty.
something like that before?
Never. I've
Oh
never
my
had something
God.
like
Did
this.
it hurt? Did they like anesthetize you? Or
No,
something?
it was fine. It was just a bit of glue. The funniest part was that we were packing to go to. We did come back to the Airbnb because I was covered in blood. Sorry guys, if that grosses anyone out.
Oh my God,
I
poor
was
thing.
packing up to go, and my boyfriend goes, on the good side, you can always fly her in the waiting room at
Oh
A&E.
my
And then
God.
as she finished gluing me back together, he went, give the doctor a flyer.
He could have done it.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't. I was too embarrassed.
That's on you.
It is on me. I am not great at promoting myself. This is all the problem. I was very well known at that show though, funnily enough, by the audience who walked out.
So the audience saw you.
They didn't. Apparently, no one saw me because it was that dark. No one
Okay.
actually saw me smack. But as they exited the venue, because I was on last, the remnants of my brain that were on the floor were fairly evident
Oh my
to
God.
everybody.
I'm so sorry.
So
That's awful.
Yeah, but it was okay.
How long until you can take off the Band-Aid?
It's about 5 days. So the doctor goes, well, you can't wash your hair. And I was like, but I've got a show. As if she was going to go, oh, I'm sorry, I'll get you the other glue.
Wait, so are you like dry shampooing right
I'm
now?
just water and water. And
Okay.
I kind of negotiated down a few days with
my
her.
God.
Do you have to go back?
I don't have to go back. And it was free, which is amazing. I was like, how do I
Whoa,
pay for
Just
this?
completely free.
And she was like, oh, no one pays here. No one has
What?
to pay.
Even
and I was like,
foreigners?
yeah. And I was like, if I'd known that, I'd have got like another boob job while I was here, like all sorts of stuff I could have had done for free. So yeah.
You know, Sasha, what I'm thinking is like, how low, like, I feel like because you're petite, right? You're not used to like getting your head out of the way of things.
Exactly. I don't have to
So
bend
how
down for
low was the
anything.
speaker? Like, what kind of venue was
Well,
this?
I'd say it was about yay high. Joyce. Actually, it was about
Just
fucking
about,
here.
Yeah, you've had the experience of a 6'5" man.
Exactly.
That's what they go
exactly.
through every single day.
day.
That's
Exactly.
what they need empathy.
Yeah. These poor men. So yeah, that was my story. But the reason I was sharing that was because it is a reminder that when I find things are on the up, sometimes for
Comes
me
crashing
they
down.
come down. But
That's what it looks like when you hit the glass ceiling.
absolutely,
Ooh, good
whoa,
one,
it's
nice.
very philosophical. But you, my darling, are very much on the up and
Oh
doing
God,
so amazing.
I hope so.
You
I
are.
fucking hope so.
You really are doing so amazing. Can we?
News to me, but thanks, guys.
Let's, we're both like really big fans.
Thank you so much for
So-
having me. You're very, very sweet.
We're very excited.
I have to confess, like before you came, because I'd seen your clips online.
Mm-hmm.
Without, I don't know about you, but I can never remember the comedians' names. So I recognized his face, and then she came to Singapore, and I was like, oh my God, Olga's coming to Singapore, and then I was like, okay, I gotta like, you know, watch all her specials, which I watched Prawn Cocktail.
Oh God,
And
thank
that
you
was
so much. That's
so
nice.
cool. And then, you know, and then when we met, I kind of tried to play it cool, like, hey, you know, what's up?
Yeah, you were
But-
very cool.
Yeah.
Still are.
But you know, we're such big fans, and like, I think that's why we're so happy to have you here. And we want to hear all about like, you know, your whole comedy journey and how things have been. Because I think maybe when you're on the inside of it, you can't see for yourself like how many glass ceilings you know
Oh God, shattered.
at least bumped into. You know, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you the most cliche of questions, but here we are. Woman in comedy. Do you think it has been an advantage, disadvantage? Do you feel it like?
Are you a woman?
Am I a woman in comedy? Poof, now that's the question.
Wow.
I think obviously yes, and I think you guys obviously feel it too. There is a sort of like, I think basically there's like oh my God, I've forgotten the English language.
Say it in Russian. Say it in Russian.
I distinctly remember there being like a snap decision that I had to make at some point, and I'm sure that you guys have experienced this to some capacity as well. As in, like, there are two roads. You can either spend the rest of your career doing the thing where you're like, prove to a person who doesn't think women are funny that women can't be funny, and that implies doing like the sort of best set of your life or to that specific audience, right? And then having one man in an audience change his mind. But he's not really changing his mind about women are funny. What he's changing his mind is he thinks women aren't funny. He just thinks you're the exception.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
God.
could do that,
Yes.
or you could perform to an audience that like already thinks you're funny and you don't have to prove anything to, and then you all have a good time. And it takes, I guess, like the same amount of energy. You just have to choose where you're putting that energy. And so, like, I think the first couple of years of your career, you're sort of constantly sort of, and I don't know how it is now. This was 10 years ago, but
the
like,
same.
you're constantly like this, I guess, this wall of like, well, are women funny? Prove it. And then you're like, and then you kind of think, well, I could do this, or I could perform to an audience that doesn't need me to prove that to them. And then the second path is much more peaceful. So I think I was confronted with that question more at the beginning of my career, more so than now.
Well, I guess because as you progress and then
like
the
build an
people,
audience, I
yeah,
guess.
because you get the audience that you get, right?
Yeah.
So I guess in the beginning years, it makes sense. Like you really can't choose, and then there's
Yeah.
always going to be some people who are not going to like you, which is the same whether you're a woman or a man.
Yes.
Right. It's just that I feel like maybe as women, you feel like you need to prove it because this is basically still a very much male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then over time, there's just that kind of gradual shift where you're bringing people who came to see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very lucky to be able to do that in any capacity. And it is just like an absolute blessing. And I guess I just think at some point I was like, I need to change people's minds. I like, we can prove it to them. And then I'm like, I'm not in the business of changing people's minds. And it's also like, it's not my fucking job to change your mind.
I love that. It's very wise. I'm thinking like, where do I sit in that? Because you do sort of shows very much to your audience, and I do more like, I suppose, club shows, as it were. So I probably am still a bit in that first category where I'm like, no, I'm.
And whenever I am in a club
yeah.
lineup and I see those faces in the audience, that voice in my head does wake up and be like, I'll prove to you women can be funny. And then I think, well, okay, great. Even if his mind is changed, fundamentally you just change the mind of a complete fucking asshole.
True.
That's not an achievement.
That is true. That is very, very true.
I don't live to please assholes.
Oh, that's very wise.
You should have that on a tombstone.
Yeah, absolutely. The podcast name is changed now. That's what it is.
No, but the thing is, you're right. Like, if you're doing this to change someone's mind, then your own definition of success is determined by someone else.
Yeah.
Who you may not even like.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like, how is it that my success is the worst person in the world being happy? That's crazy.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're both so philosophical on this. I'm just like, just love me.
Oh, that's the baseline.
Yeah.
That's like the unsaid truth
Yeah.
that's like sort of rippling underneath.
Yeah, absolutely. And because we talk about it, because Joyce is much more spiritual and philosophical than I am in her role as a lesbian.
My role.
That sounds gay, I'm not gonna lie.
It's really gay.
And you do not understand how gay this podcast is without actually saying it.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, don't believe in anything I can't see. So
That's why we get along. Do we?
Well, I don't know. Ask your spirits.
I'll consult my guides tonight. Does Sasha actually like me?
So yeah, sure. Or you could just ask me in person.
No, but you wouldn't tell me because you're British.
I'm British. I'm just keeping you on side until we colonise again.
Yeah, I think it's you know, I was even thinking it's not even about changing men's minds if it even comes down to that, because there's sometimes like straight women in the audience who are turned off when I go on and I declare that I'm gay.
Yeah.
So I've done this before. I was at the Lemon Stand in Singapore. And I think I hadn't been on yet. I was on in the second half. So in the bathroom, I bumped into this lady and I recognized her from the audience. And she's like, oh, you're a female comedian? Great. I can't wait to see you. And then when I went on in the second half, she's right there, right? And I do my whole thing where I'm like Singapore's biggest lesbian.
Yeah.
And after I said that, she completely changed her body language. So she just like literally, like if you were me, she just suddenly said like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's like, you're no longer one of us, kind of thing.
I'm like, I don't know, am I a threat or like what's
No, she's just a homophobe. And again, you shouldn't build your career around trying to please a homophobe.
Was I not so hot that she had to turn away?
Oh, it probably was that. She was probably like, my husband's gonna find out my secret.
She's like, I'm gonna come.
That's what it was. She was suddenly dreadfully overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's
Then she crossed her legs.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. She wants you. She's
Also, the
That's
women
how you
aren't
come
funny.
though. Oh, sorry.
That is how you come.
That's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you
yeah.
cross your legs.
You cross your legs.
okay. Fair. So, do you know what? I'm gonna pay for you to get an Uber back. Okay. It's, so you were gonna say that is.
Oh, well, the whole thing about women not being funny, I think like it is something that still comes up, but it's like, it's to me such a non-point, because it's like, if you imagine, like if I tell you right now, imagine a group of women, they are laughing.
Yeah.
Like girls love to get together and giggle.
Yes.
If you imagine a group of men together, they are not giggling. So I don't care if women are funny or men are funny, who's laughing? It's the women. Women are the ones having the best time.
That is very, very true. And like they're the best crowds, right? So
Yeah.
I tend to not do so many of the women only shows, and I wish I did more of them, because when I do them, they're the best crowd.
Yeah.
It's like a warm hug.
Because with men, it's like, especially when men are laughing at a woman, there's so much of like, it feels weak to laugh. So there'll be a lot of like really mask macho men sort of being like,
Especially at a woman.
Oh, exactly. And you're just like, this is pathetic.
Okay, I love this.
And I don't have the time or energy to deal with your masculinity and the fact that you think it's gay to laugh at me. Because it is. It makes you a fucking homo. And this is a joke.
That's fair. If you laugh, I mean, it's embarrassing.
No, it's really, really, really embarrassing. Also, to be clear, I am bisexual. Just
Oh, well, we'll come
just
to that in a
put
minute.
this at the record.
Yes, we will. Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah.
It's, so again, we've got the spectrum.
We have
here.
the
We've got the
spectrum.
We do
spectrum
have the
here.
spectrum.
I used to be a bisexual, and now I'm not. I was like a non-practicing kind of thing.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. This is great. Do we pay you for therapy?
This is fascinating. How do you?
Well, I went through, we talked about this in another episode. I went through, you know, when people are like, oh, I'm gay or I'm bisexual, whatever,
Yeah.
and their parents go, it's a phase.
Yeah.
Mine really was a phase. It genuinely was. I love women. I think women are gorgeous, and I started to go on the dating apps, and I was looking to date potentially women, and then just very quickly realised that so sadly it's not for me. And I just really like.
Why is it not for you?
I don't buy it.
Why?
You don't buy
I
it.
don't buy it.
Interesting.
Well, because I
just-
think and if you've seen my stand-up comedy, there I do talk about it a lot. Like, I think there's an expectation of bisexual people to be 50-50. And when you have this realization that, like, well, I'm not 50-50,
Yeah.
then I must not be bisexual. And it's like, no, you could be 90-10.
I maybe I'm definitely
And it's
somewhere
just
on
like,
the scale.
and I do remember, like, when I was first exploring my bisexuality, I remember actively going on dates with women, not liking these women, and then thinking I'm not bisexual. And then being like, well, I've been on dates with men, and I haven't liked them, and I didn't stop being straight.
I think
Like, that's crazy. And so it's like, and I would fundamentally, no matter how many dates with women I have gone on, probably in total, it's still fewer than the dates that I've gone on with men. And so in terms of like percentage success rate, it's probably what, like 10%, 15% of the dates that I go on, I'm interested in the person. But it's like, that's 1 in 10 women.
Statistics.
Statistically speaking, thank you very much. So I just like, the thing is, like, if you're not attracted to most women, that doesn't make you not bi, because fundamentally you're not attracted to most men.
Yeah, but I thought that was just because they were men. And they're just a bit,
I
well,
do think that there's like a
maybe.
weird thing where it's like when women later in life start dating other women, there's a pressure to be like, and you need to fuck all of them.
I
like,
did that. I did that.
That's because you're a lesbian, and that I don't question.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not straight, but I'm saying don't think that you're not bisexual.
Don't
It's
take
not too
myself
late,
out.
Sasha. It's
Don't
not
take
too
myself out the
late.
It
running.
literally takes one woman that you fancied for you to be bisexual.
Well, that's true. Then I probably am because there's loads of them.
Cheers
so there
to
we
that.
go. Cheers to that. Do you know
Cheers,
what?
The gay agenda,
Yeah.
once again.
Tell my boyfriend it's been lovely, but as it turns out, it's not for me. And
You could
have him-
also just complicate the whole thing and be poly.
I am so jealous, right? I'm the most jealous woman in the world. I don't
Are
understand
you?
how. Oh my god.
Are you jealous
Yeah.
of me?
No, I'm jealous. Like if I'm dating,
Oh, okay.
do you get
Really?
jealous in dating? I'm insane.
Not particularly.
I'm good at keeping. Oh god, he's gonna fucking see this. I'm good at keeping it in. I don't talk about.
Yeah.
But inherently, I'm a very jealous person. Yeah.
I think I just think that I'm so amazing. There's no fucking way you'd
love
want to cheat
this.
on me.
I love this.
Yeah, obviously. You're welcome.
Whereas I'm like, he'll be like, I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, are you?
Yeah, I think my
Yeah.
delusion is so like, well, he's won the lottery, so.
I love this. I need to employ this.
Yeah.
That confidence. You jealous
Are you a
person?
jealous person?
Not at all. But it's not. It's a different one from yours. It's like there's so many beautiful women in this world. Why shouldn't you get to partake?
The thought of saying that
Partake.
to my boyfriend.
Nah.
Wow.
No,
I
what
don't
I
buy
mean
it.
is my girlfriend. Like, why should my girlfriend get to partake?
Oh, so are you open?
I mean, more or less. But I mean, I don't advertise it. Well, I guess now I have. But you know, it's fine. Like, it's a okay concept because it's okay. You know, in fact, you know, when she's thinking of studying in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, if we are going to do long distance, you should just like enjoy yourself. You know, it's
Right.
like Melbourne is such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
There's so much coffee. There's so much croissants. You need a girlfriend.
There is so much coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone pointed out to me, like, you know, you can have coffee and croissants with a regular friend, right? And like not sleep with them. And like, well, what's the fun in that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not that she's done it. I'm just like in concept. Like, why not? You know, I'm not gonna be around, and I don't think love is like expensive, right? It's not a zero-sum game. So like, I don't think why not? If you're gonna spend some time elsewhere anyway, just enjoy yourself. I don't think it's gonna detract from like how you feel for me.
I'm sure that you think this.
Wow.
But I would love to speak to you when
When it
it
happens.
actually.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody, like in tears.
I'm stunned by it. Literally, the conversation's giving me anxiety.
Are you getting
A
palpitations?
little bit.
Wait, but you're not my girlfriend.
I know, but just I'm putting
Yet.
myself in. I'm putting my well, but I could be your girlfriend's girlfriend, as it turns out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
Because
Why not?
yeah, it's,
Yeah, what you're saying, why not? But there's like a glass of white wine that you just broke.
yeah. It's interesting. And so you've dated men and women.
Yes.
So very topical for our podcast. So what do you think is the difference? And again, very cliche question, but what is the? I mean, physically we know. Women probably know what they're doing, I assume.
I don't know if there's a difference in terms of men and women. I think there's a difference between like gender performance, because a lot of the time I think like late in life lesbians or bisexual women find out that what they're attracted to isn't men, what they're attracted to is masculinity, for example, and so they like are attracted to butch women or non-binary people who are very like masculine presenting, and so then you're like, oh, what I want is masked, it's not a man. And I think conversely, I'm attracted to very feminine men. I love a fruity boy.
Okay.
Like I think my last 3 boyfriends were all bisexual. Like I
Oh.
am very into that. So I think I'm more so. I think my bisexuality has taught me that it's not a difference between men and women. It's more difference of like gender performance.
Oh, interesting.
So are you into masculine women?
Yes.
So you're into like the middle of that?
Yes.
Like,
that makes sense.
women
I
and
also am into feminine
men.
women. I used to be like, I like masculine women and feminine men, but in reality, I think I like everybody apart from masculine men.
Okay.
So like a super, super girly girl, yes. Like a super
Oh.
extremely toxically masculine binary person, let's fucking go. The second it's a super masculine man, goodbye forever.
I feel like we have some similarities because
Tell me.
I'm like fully into fully feminine women.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I could go for a really, really masculine man. It's like
Really?
complete sexual dimorphism.
Okay,
you
so
know?
you want like like a gym bro who like will lift you.
But I will not have sex with him. Like when I
Okay, define
no, listen. I've been watching Thor for no reason other than for my teenage daughter wanted to watch. Not even Thor. She wanted to watch Tom Hiddleston.
Okay.
Yes.
But so she watches Thor to watch Tom Hiddleston. But I watch
Tom Hiddleston, not the Hemsworth. Interesting.
That's Loki. So that's her. But okay, this is about me. And so I was watching along with her, and I was watching to watch Thor with Natalie Portman.
Yes.
Well, which is like, okay, we don't even need to cover that. Like, who doesn't love Natalie
Yeah.
Portman,
Okay.
right?
I see.
But also, I realized I was attracted to Chris Hemsworth because he's such a manly man.
Yeah.
I just want to like climb up him
Yes.
and then like slit his neck and then like wear his skin as my body and then find women using Chris Hemsworth's body.
Okay, so you don't want him, you want to be him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very
like I get
interesting.
like when I'm next to really, really masculine men, I'm like, I want you. I want to be inside you.
Yeah.
I
That's
cannot
so
relate to
interesting.
this.
No,
I have no
you're
idea.
so straight.
I'm so straight.
You actually just want to have sex with Chris Hemsworth.
No, I'm not even manly enough for me.
So fundamentally, what you're saying is you're the mask man.
I am a man in a woman's body. I've been trying to tell everybody that.
So are you trans?
I'm not trans because there was no, because I'm happy having like a woman's body because it gets me women. In my very warped like 80s regressive kind of mindset, it's like you're either a woman or you're a man. If you're a man, you gotta look like a man. If you're a woman, you gotta look like a woman. And like I can't like detach.
That's so interesting.
It's just very fucked up.
No, it's not. It makes a lot of sense.
It's an old-fashioned mindset.
But it's an understanding
For a
of like,
queer person.
in order to get the type of women you want, you have been conditioned to think that those types of women
Right.
only want men. So you're
Right,
like,
right.
I'm jealous of the men because they get to be
Exactly.
with those women.
Exactly.
I hear you.
And like even though I know this, I can't like escape from it. Like it's a very rigid paradigm, and I want to escape from it, but I can't. But also like no, I'm already married, so.
But also, you can't like fight decades/centuries of like conditioning.
Yeah.
Which is what all the toxic straight men would say.
A toxic straight man.
Wow.
Like as in like I encourage you and support you trying, but also don't beat yourself up is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you.
I would I would never side with a toxic straight man. Please.
Thank you. No, I never meant to lead you there. It's just.
What was it like dating your husband?
Oh God. I don't even want to go.
Okay, let's not. Sorry.
Because, okay, my story was that, like, I got married, like, way too young. I got married to my first boyfriend. You know how that works.
Did you know you were gay the entire time or no?
So my whole special is about how I should have really known I was gay, because I've just,
Okay, I need
you
to watch
see
it.
all my kids, all my photos as a kid, you know, I'm just like 100% a boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to get women, girls, like my kindergarten classmates to like kiss me and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was super gay. It's just that in the 80s, there was no such thing, at least in Asia, in 80s, there's no such thing. If you want to, you know, there's just no such thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just couldn't even conceive of it. And then I studied in the US. And that was where I saw my first like live homosexual kissing. Because I would remember going back to my dorm, and I was holding the door like open for these two girls behind me. And it took a really long time, and I turned around, and they were like just making out.
Yeah, they were.
Right?
Yeah.
I had never seen people even kissing live, like even straight couples.
Which university were you at in America?
I was at Yale.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was known as the gay Ivy, and I wasn't even gay at the gay Ivy. Like it was the 2000s. It was 2000s. So it was still like gay was not really like it was not like now, right? So it was like the gay Ivy. And even I could have slept with so many women.
Yeah.
So many women I could have slept
Yeah.
with. I think it still bothers me because in my dreams I go back to Yale and stay with women.
Oh, you could.
You need to go back.
You do.
Well,
need
so
Yeah,
that's
do like an MBA or some shit.
yeah.
I could just do that in Melbourne.
No, wait, the gay Ivy. Come on.
Oh, I know,
But it's also
right?
like
But then
the
I'd be a
leech-
creepy grad student.
So
Yeah, but that's a whole thing. That's a whole genre, I imagine.
look, a creepy
I
grad
do
student's
creepy
better
really
than a
well.
creepy professor.
I do creepy really well.
She does. She really does. She's, this is why we had to have her sit this side of
That's
you.
beautiful.
No,
It's,
but so
And that is part of toxic masculinity. Well done.
nice. It all comes back to that. No, but I went back to the US, to the West Coast for my masters, and then I did basically my whole life changed that year, and that's where I did the midlife crisis, sleeping with everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Was it great?
It was as great as it could have been,
Fuck yeah.
but I feel like my what do you call it? My tank is not full yet.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I'm
Maybe
like,
that's
Time for
why
a
you're
PhD.
ooh,
Yeah.
6 years of being a creepy grad student.
Maybe this is
Exactly.
why you're so open to what.
But I feel like I've always been open.
I love that.
I was
love that
poly
for
as a
you.
kindergartner.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, okay. I was very straight and just had the one kindergarten
You're
wedding.
actually
and-
like a proper British woman.
Yes.
You are, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm pretty straight. I don't know about
You're
straight-laced.
straight-laced.
Do you think I'm straight-laced?
Yeah, I mean,
don't
you don't let your kids watch TV. You don't let your kid watch all the TV she wants.
I don't let her watch sex on TV.
Yeah.
That is a correct statement. I do not let my 12-year-old watch sex
Really?
on TV. Yeah.
Why?
Is that, what? Because I don't want her to think.
Does she have a phone?
She does have
She's
a phone.
seen sex.
No.
She's had sex in Roblox.
Oh, stop!
Oh my god, my niece met her girlfriend in Roblox, and her first kiss was on Roblox.
Oh my! I
Right?
feel like I'm
My
at
child has been married and divorced several times on Roblox.
That's
walking
my
in my footsteps.
favorite thing that anyone's ever said.
Wow, this has been the Comedy and Custody podcast. I'm flying home to check Grace's phone.
My child has
It's,
been married and divorced multiple times in
wow.
Roblox.
Wow, it is a different world, I guess, for them. I do.
It
I
is.
don't. Do you know what I think? I don't want her to look at stuff and be like, "That looks fun." I'll give that a go. Like, you know, because I think I was that.
But
type
the
of
moment
kid.
you tell her not to see it, she's gonna think it's fun. You've got to make it so
Boring and lame.
Yeah, you've got
You
to
should be like,
blasé.
I want to go play Roblox.
Yeah,
and she'll immediately be
exactly.
like, ugh,
Yeah,
no.
that is what it should be like. We can just watch this, like a sex scene on TV.
Yeah,
I'll
you
be like,
should show
"Ugh,
her porn."
boring.
Yeah.
You should be like, look, this is like you got to make it like a lesson, and then she, oh, this is so boring.
So boring and lame. It's
She'll
so
never
lame.
have sex
Yeah.
ever.
That's my aim in life.
That's my strategy.
We've gone way
To
off.
like talk so much about sex that they never.
They
are
just
curious.
desensitize.
Yeah.
Desensitize
Yeah.
to it. It's we've gone way off piste because I'm very conscious
We're
of
supposed
the
to talk
time.
about her success.
So I want to
Oh my
talk about
God,
your success.
my
I do
success.
because did I read right? You were on Mock the Week.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Now you're on my podcast. This is the most
what's
famous
that?
thing
What-
by
what's-
proxy
what's
I've
that?
ever been.
It's like, what's
Okay,
Mock the Week?
so Mock the Week is a panel show in the UK where they look at headlines from the week and
Ooh.
talk about them.
Nice.
You're like,
Let's do
wow.
it.
Nice.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'm very similar to you because I grew up in Russia. So when I got booked for the show, it was like, okay, that's cool. And then people were like, it's Mock the Week, and I was like, okay, it's Mock the Week. Yeah, it was fun.
Amazing. 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 That was it. That was all I needed to know. So you grew up in Russia. Where did you start doing stand-up?
I started doing stand-up when I moved to London after university. So it was like 2015, I want to say. 2014,
Okay.
2015. Maybe 2014 maybe was my first ever gig. Something like that.
Okay.
10 years.
A club, is it still around, the place where you
It
first
was,
performed?
I'm not actually sure. I know, because basically, I remember reading in Bridget Christie's book that everybody agrees that London is the best stand-up city. And I think the reason for it is because London, along with a lot of other British towns, has so many pubs, and every pub has a function room. So it has like either an attic or a basement that could be rented for private functions. And what is essentially means is the infrastructure of the city suggests that you, like, basically there's a small theater on every block.
That's so cool.
Which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And like the same, I realized this when I moved to London, and like there's so many pop-up restaurants, and it's the same reason, because every pub has a kitchen, and not every pub wants to cook in that kitchen. So in order, instead of like opening a food truck or opening your own restaurant, you can like test out your restaurant by just renting a pub kitchen for a bit. So I do think that it's interesting how the infrastructure of the city affects both the sort of live performance scene and the restaurant scene because of pubs, and pubs have existed for hundreds of years, right? And so that's why there's so many open mics in London every single night, because all those pubs let you rent out the room for free. They have no issue, because it's like on a Tuesday night it's empty anyway. It costs them nothing. And so like it doesn't cost anything to put on a night. And so I remember I did my first ever gig in a basement in a pub in Euston.
Okay.
And I, at that point, was like super into comedy already. I had taken so many comedy classes at university. I wrote for my university sketch team.
Oh, same.
Exactly. And so then I was also on Twitter, so I was tweeting a lot of jokes. And so my first set was just me reading my best tweets, or I thought my best tweets.
Okay, so fantastic. And then what was the point at which you were like, oh, this is what I want to do?
No, wait, can I interrupt you?
No.
What compelled you to like go from, just tweeting stuff to like getting on stage? Like, was there a push, or like did something go off in your head?
I think, like, I've always wanted to. I was really into sketch comedy. I loved sketch comedy. I didn't know anyone in London, so I kind of thought, well, I'm going to do this, meet people, start a sketch team, and then continue doing sketch comedy. And much like you understand, you walk on stage and you're like, oh, I never want to share this with anybody.
This is exactly my story.
This is
exactly
all I want.
the same.
I never want to share the stage. Yeah, it was that.
So that's all the time we had for the first half of our episode with Olga Koch.
Come back next week, hear the rest of it. It's absolutely phenomenal. I have been Sasha Frank.
And I've been Nebulous Nyang.
This has been the Comedy and Custody Podcast. Have a great week.
See ya.